Elon, his private sector work, has been very innovative, really fantastic. A lot of private sector people, when they get into government, they don't take the time necessarily to see what the good work is or why it's structured the way it is. So I'm a little worried, particularly with this USAID stuff. My foundation partners with USAID on nutrition and getting vaccines out. And, there's incredible people. They're not actually worms that work there. So, hopefully we'll get some of that work back in shape. In fact, if we don't, you could have literally millions of deaths. So.
Last night about the fact that USAID, which provides humanitarian relief to people around the world at the expense of taxpayers in the US, about $40 billion a year, is being gone through with a fine-tooth comb by Elon Musk and his Doge team. And I tell you what, Trump's administration do not look like they are going to let up, despite the cacophony of criticism that was unleashed when Musk went into the offices with his team and demanded access to all of their records. Elon Musk tweeted today that USAID is a criminal organisation, and Caroline Leavitt, the White House spokesperson, she outlined exactly why US taxpayers should be outraged about what's been allowed to happen with USAID under the Biden administration for so many years. Have a listen.
If you look at the waste and abuse that has run through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either.
It's the first time I've ever thought of a transgendered opera as being humanitarian relief. But there you go. Marco Rubio, who's now taking control of USAID, basically said this has been the problem. They've been a law unto themselves.
They have basically evolved into an agency that believes that they're not even a U.S. government agency, that they are a global charity, that they take the taxpayer money and they spend it as a global charity, irrespective of whether it is in the national interest or not in the national interest. They are supporting programs that upset the host government for whom we're trying to work with on a broader scale and so forth. So they're completely unresponsive. They just don't consider that they work for the U.S.
Donald Trump was far more succinct in his take on USAID.
Well, it's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, and then we'll make a decision.
Caleb, it's hard to argue. I mean, the more you hear about the money that is being wasted, thrown around on all manner of lefty fetishes, like transgendered operas in Colombia, would anyone have ever imagined that was an aid project?
Yes, the people running the show were well aware that that was a quote-unquote aid project. That's why they're so upset that the thing's being dismantled, because they can't do what they've always been able to do. Like I said last night, the idea that this was an independent body, so it was not controlled by the president, is crazy. Like, here's just a pot of money for you to go and do what you want with, including DEI in Serbia and transgender operas. Now, I'm actually kind of curious to go to the transgender opera now, because I just want to see what they've spent their money on.
YouTube.
And I reckon I've got to go and investigate this now. But it's proven what a joke this is, and the idea that there is more oversight is never a bad thing. Unless, of course, you're the one who's been trusted with all the money for that time and you've had the rug pulled out from underneath you.
The fact that it's lasted this long, I mean, JFK started USAID and it was supposed to be for this very reason, more oversight. It was like, well, what are these guys getting up to? This was back when the CIA was under Alan Dulles, and good Lord, you can still see the trail of destruction. That man left coups in numerous countries. Absolutely. So JFK was like, okay, I've had enough of this. I want to overhaul this. But here we are decades later, and it's gone straight back to Alan Dulles style. USAID is a front for the CIA. Technically, it has a budget bigger than the State Department and what's the other department? The CIA itself. So these guys are the money guys, and there she is, and we can laugh about that list of ridiculous sounding projects. You can bet your bottom dollar that's not actually what it's funding. These guys don't hand out aid. They cooperate and coordinate to do all sorts of clandestine stuff in foreign countries to establish American hegemony in regions where they're like, well, we want a stronger foothold here, we want a stronger foothold there. So it sounds clownish, but you can bet your bottom dollar that's actually not what it's being spent on in those foreign countries at all.